Hello, this is Ned of The Underground, and I was lucky enough to catch up with Eli Craig, the director and producer of the upcoming horror movie Clown in a Cornfield, which hits Australian cinemas Thursday, May 8th. It is a fun one. Now, unfortunately, and we must apologize for this, the interview did chop out a little bit at the start where Eli was discussing filming in Winnipeg, Canada, and how the nights really affected things when it got down to -10 and -20 degrees. Some fun stories in there, but again, we do apologize for the technical difficulties. It is still a fun one though, and Eli lets us know how he would deal with Frendo the Clown himself. Without further ado, let's jump into it. And remember, be sure to check this movie out, Clown in a Cornfield, Thursday, May 8th in Australian cinemas.
I think my sensibility is I'd probably just be buddies with him. I'd probably just learn how to socially adapt to the situation and befriend him. And then I'd try to talk him out of his killings and stuff. I'd have a little, maybe have a little smoke of weed with him. I'd be sitting there watching some horror movies, smoking a joint, being friendo. Really, maybe there's better ways to tackle your problems in life than going this route. I try to win him over that way. And if that didn't go right, I'd take Frendo on. He could be kind of a beast. I give him my best shot, and I just try, man. I don't know if I'd make it.
I'm sure I wouldn't, having seen the movie, which is absolutely spectacular. And checking out your previous movies, I've always been a massive fan of Tucker and Dale and Little Evil. I've only just checked that out recently, but there kind of seems to be some tie-ins there, Eli. And I'm wondering if I'm looking into this too much, but with Little Evil, there was a clown in Cornfield in that movie. Tucker and Dale, Dust or Russ, sorry, has got that Tucker and Dale feel about him. Am I looking into that too much? Or?
Well, I think you're catching something. I don't think anybody's asked me this question yet, and I was going to do a cut between Little Evil and Clown in a Cornfield, because I did shoot a night in a cornfield in Little Evil, and I also had a birthday clown that catches on fire in Little Evil, and so I thought it was kind of fitting that a clown and corn was coming back to me. I actually really loved that day shooting in the cornfield. So I had some history with it already, which was kind of nice because I knew you could get lost. Literally when I was shooting Little Evil, one of our crew walked off into the corn to take a leak and never came back. He got killed by Frendo. But it was it's so disconcerting when you're deep in there. You can get lost so easy. And so I kind of knew we were going to track out certain areas and we'd have to shoot. I kind of knew how we'd tackle it shooting wise. And that was one of my pitches to the producers, actually, is it's hard to shoot in a cornfield, and it seems like it's going to be easy, but it's muddy and you have to put down track, and it's hard on the whole crew. And I just thought those were two elements that were two flavors in one of my movies, but man, I could combine these two and make a really kick-ass movie.
Yeah, yes, love it right there. And you're a big outdoors man, right, Eli? How much does your sort of love of the outdoors come into the movies? I've noticed, again, they're all based outdoors and whatnot. Does that come into it much?
It really does. It does, because I'm the guy on set always that's don't put a heater near me. I want to deal with everything the actors are dealing with. Sometimes you have these video villages where the director's all cozy and sipping his tea and and the actors are out there suffering. And I'm I'll do anything you guys are doing. And I think it creates this kind of team spirit, and everybody's in it together. And I just have to say, from my outward, I taught at Outward Bound for a bunch of years, and then I guided trips down in South America on Aconcagua, which is the highest peak in the northern hemisphere, in the western hemisphere. And then Denali, I climbed, which is the highest peak in the northern hemisphere. And I honestly have been through some really extreme experiences on the mountain, and it kind of puts things in perspective to you. So when you're having a hard day, on a film set, maybe you're not getting the shot you want, or you're having to adapt to hard conditions. It's just a hard day trying to make a movie. And it's not the same as your life being on the line, and
Yeah.
like, or having people die with you, which unfortunately I've had happen. So it really like gives you a bit of a sense of humor about the whole process. Like, I'm doing this really fun kind of thing that, yeah, the stakes are high, but they're not that high. And anything that happens, I feel like it just gives me a little bit of fortitude to handle a tough situation.
Oh yeah, and I tell you what, handling tough situations as well. I see Frendo gets into a bit of downhill skiing as well. That's a crazy pastime.
Yeah, that was a little ski trip I did in between these press junkets, and we went to South by Southwest, and then I got to go on a ski trip. So we got a lot of killer photos. I wore the Frendo mask as I was skiing backcountry in British Columbia with some friends, and it was just so funny. We were all laughing our butts off, and every time Frendo would, I'd put the mask on and go ski as Frendo. Everybody was like, "Yeah, Frendo!"
Yes.
So I just had to I had to post those pictures and some videos. It was kind of fun.
Oh, I loved it, man. Perfect press right there. Now, here's a very important question, which I'm pretty sure you wouldn't have got yet. Who wins, Frendo or Tucker and Dale?
Good question. Wouldn't it be great if we just did like Tucker and Dale versus Clown in a Cornfield?
Yes.
I mean, here's why Tucker and Dale would win this
Oh.
through some serious, sort of unsuspecting to them. They would be Mr. Magoo. They would Mr. Magoo their way through the Frendo kills and come out on top. You know why? Because I could never kill Tucker and Dale. I just couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't kill them. So as a writer, I would figure out how Frendo accidentally killed himself.
I love that right there. Tucker and Dale wouldn't even know it was happening, sort of thing. Oh, he's a happy clown. But you know what?
Yeah.
I reckon Lucas from Little Evil probably takes them all.
Oh, I think he does. Lucas from Little Evil was had some superpowers, and my point on that film was that, like, I don't know, I was raising a sort of troublesome but lovely, wonderful, amazing a kid at the time, and I guess I wrote that when he was about 5 or 6, and I kind of
Really?
thought that everybody, like, all kids are little evils, right? They
Mhm.
kind of lack a little bit of empathy at that age, and sometimes they can torture you a bit, and I just thought to take that to the extreme. But like, when I was going through that, I thought one of the scariest movies ever, not to turn this into a Little Evil conversation, but one of the scariest movies ever for me was The Omen. And part
Yes.
of the reason why it was so scary for me was like that the dad has to go kill his kid. And then I think to myself, of course, I think they had to couch it in this idea of that he wasn't really his kid and he was adopted. So I was like, but even as an adopted dad, I think that is so sacrilege that even to me, if you find out your kid's the son of Satan, you're like, well, these are our cards, kid. Like, let's play them the best we got. And maybe I could teach you to like be a good person, even though your real dad kind of sucks.
And does he what? Yeah, I tell you what, I don't have enough props for them. You're 3 from 3, like in those movies right there. I just am a very big fan of this one too. Clown in a Cornfield. It's hitting Australian cinemas Thursday, May 8th. I don't want to give anything away about this, but it's got the perfect mix of horror and comedy and jump scares and everything. And just hats off to you on it, Eli.
Yeah, thank you so much. I would say the one part about this movie that I really wanted to make a little different is I kind of wanted it to be horror forward. So I wanted to make this horror first and then comedy kind of second on this. And then
Yeah.
also there's all the character dynamics that are always in play in my movies and these character arcs that maybe are surprising along the way.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. People just have to go out and see it. It's a
Yeah.
fantastic one.
Right.
Like 3 from 3.
Amazing. Thank you.
I took my daughters along to see this and I said, "What should I ask Eli?" And they said, "I'm not sure. Just tell him to make more movies." And I said, "That's definitely a good question." And it brings me to the question: what's up next for you, man?
Well, we got to see how Clown in a Cornfield does. There's 3 and now going to be 4 books in this series, and Adam Caesars loves this movie. He loves the world. Adam Caesars, the writer of the book. And like,
Yes.
if we get to play a little more in the corn with Frendo, I think that could be something I'm game to do. Other than that, I'm juggling a couple things that I wrote that we'll see if I can get the financing for. That's always like the behind the scenes battle that everyone thinks, well, it must be easy for you to get all that money. You did Tucker and Dale, but
Yeah.
it's still a battle to get the financing you need. So all will be revealed in due time, but go
Excellent.
see Clown in a Cornfield now.
Yeah, it is a fantastic one. Thank you so much for taking time out. You've been a real sport with this one. Really appreciate it. Follow this man on Instagram, Eli_Craig. Thank you, Eli.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ned. Great talking to you, man.